My name is Kasey Corley, and this is my presentation on the issues of identity within adopted persons. There are plenty of reasons that someone would want to adopt a child, such as not being able to have a child of their own or as a counter to abortion. But the adoption community is and has been facing a very large identity crisis, and it's rarely addressed. This crisis can affect not only the adoptee but their family as well, in ways that have been known to be drastic. Within the adoption community, there are plenty of different environments that a child could be adopted into. LGBTQ and transracial families are examples of that. Along with different environments, there are also different types of adoption. An open adoption is when the birth parents and the adoptive parents stay in contact. A semi-open adoption takes place when the birth parents are given multiple files on different potential homes for the child, and while the files are very descriptive, no contact information or last names are provided, limiting the contact between the birth parents and potential adoptive parents. Closed adoptions take place when there is absolutely zero contact between the birth family and the adoptive family. This child is placed into the adoption agency, and the agency will decide where the child goes from there. The case can only be reopened if the birth mother wishes it to be so. The crisis of identity is a major problem within the adoption community now. One of the reasons that this can happen is because the adoptee feels that they bear no resemblance to their adoptive family, and they may feel like they don't belong. This occurs especially in transracial adoptions. Some of the children that are taken by the adoption agencies don't even get adopted. They are put in the foster system and they go from home to home, often mistreated by their foster parents, never getting the chance to really know and understand who they actually are. Usually with people who are adopted or in the foster system, as they age, there is a 5-stage acceptance process that they usually go through. The first stage is denial, denying that the adoption has caused any issues within the first place. This can cause even more problems. The second stage is emerging awareness, which means they focus on the positive outcomes of their adoption, realizing that there is a problem but they're not ready to accept it. Drowning in awareness, the third stage, is when the adoptee is engulfed with the pain of emotions like grief over the adoption. Fourth stage, remerging into awareness, is once more focusing on the positive outcome of their adoption, but they have now grown closer to accepting that their adoption is causing the issues. The fifth stage is finding peace. This is when the adoptee finally accepts their adoption and comes to terms. The identity crisis should be addressed because when someone believes that they are unable to be loved, they tend to make very bad choices as if to prove it to themselves, often falling into the wrong crowd. It should be addressed because everyone deserves to have a connection to at least one person in their life. There are many different options of treatment that can work to begin fixing the issue of identity. The ones I will be discussing are wilderness therapy, family discussion, and family therapy. Wilderness therapy is when a group of professionals and a group of clients go into the woods, hiking and partaking in one-on-one and group therapy. This form of therapy has been known to help adolescents combat different attachment issues, and more than 1/3 of the participants have been adopted. Another possible solution is to introduce the concept of adoption at a young age. Parents need to make sure to remember that this is a discussion and not a lecture. Their adoption is a very sensitive topic, so it is recommended that parents never tell their child more than they're ready to hear, and make sure to remain positive towards the entire thing. The final and possible solution is family therapy. There are many different forms of family therapy, a main form being infant-parent psychotherapy, which has been shown to increase the bond between parent and child. Play is another form of therapy, allowing the parent and child to play while also under the supervision of a professional, relieving some of the stress from the parent. Family therapy is also recommended later in the adopted child's life to further increase the bond between parent and child. The proposed solution is to have family therapy be a requirement in adopted families with a mandatory minimum number of attendances. Along with the mandatory therapy, this includes removing the option of a closed adoption. The need to know about the birth parents is crucial in identity development, and closed adoptions do not allow this. The Cabinet of Health and Family Services plays a major role in adoptions and adoption agencies. In order to make this proposed solution true, the CHFS would need to propose the solution to the United States government. In conclusion, the Cabinet of Health and Family Services can either support this proposal and request a meeting to propose the solution, or they could deny it and let the problem worsen. If that is the decision, the adopted children around the country will face the identity crisis, leaving them to suffer the severe symptoms that come with not knowing who you are as a person.